Gracias, papá.
Vamos a la playa.
Well, you heard the man. It's a full send family road trip. We've got a dog, a baby, and one very hungry Babaski. I think this was only my second or third day in Korea. And honestly, being confined with my newfound family for 4 hours felt like the best icebreaker. Also the perfect chance to get to know them. I had two thoughts. One, 4 hours, it's not bad. And two, I hope Sean doesn't think I'm weird. The farther we got from the city, the quieter everything got. The traffic thinned out, the buildings dropped, and somewhere along the way, the pace just changed. It didn't feel like we were rushing to get anywhere. It felt like the drive was the day. And I was perfectly fine with that. I kind of like that. So, if you need a visual, this is Seoul. And this little car, full of chaos, is us, making our way east to the coast. Ticket, and then we move up. Don't drop it, Baba. What'd you get? We pulled up to the rental just before sunset.
Mitz.
Mitz was definitely happy to be back on solid ground. It was time to haul out all the luggage and reset before we ventured into town. Sean had booked the rooms and even made sure Mitz was covered too. As cool and nonchalant as he is, it's hard not to notice the guy's got a really big heart. Traveling through Korea with a baby was one of the most interesting parts of the whole trip. Every new word she picked up, I felt like I was learning right alongside her. She was learning Korean, and somehow I was too.
Babaski in the sea.
I even managed to teach her a little English along the way.
Wow.
Before this trip, I'd say my Korean was at about maybe a newborn's level. Now, I'd confidently say I'm a well-trained dog. Those first moments at the beach felt special. And just like that, it was time to eat. I loved the look of the small beach town. It felt like I was in a Korean Amity Island. Dinner was generous. Plates on plates on plates. At some point, time stopped making sense. And all I remember after that was waking up deep in the food coma. We started the next morning with breakfast at a traditional local spot. It was a beautifully quaint place, the kind where you can tell it's been around for a while, just by how confident every flavor is. And just look at that banchan. Phew, good lord. As we worked through the tofu starters, a stew at the table slowly started heating up. Bubbling, thickening, bringing the whole room alive with its aroma. Ooh, and there was the spicy potato dish. Man, I still think about that to this day. Once the family had successfully overfed me yet again, we hit the road. And this time, I actually had no idea where we were going. I didn't ask many questions. I was expecting something light, maybe some sand castles, a few toes in the water, a slight tan if I was lucky. Then we arrived. The Hyuhyuam Hermitage. I was stunned. Suddenly I was on my best behavior, standing a little straighter and moving a little quieter. But at the same time, I felt lighter. Like a small weight had been lifted. Sitting here now, trying to come up with something clever or insightful to say about it, I honestly don't have much. It was just beautiful. I'm sure the Buddha wouldn't mind, but while I was trying to speed run enlightenment, I also had to send a quiet thank you card up to my boy JC. There was a small ritual for visitors, releasing a fish back into the ocean as an act of kindness. And if you know me, I'm a big believer in killing with kindness. So we were absolutely doing it. We took our time finding a good spot, mostly because we learned very quickly that seabirds also love this ritual. For very different reasons. Now, I get what you might be thinking, but we'll unpack the whole logic behind that in the comments below. For now, on to the next temple. We arrived at Naksansa Temple right as the crowds rolled in. And immediately, I was blown away. This place definitely raised my standards on temples. The views were unreal. The architecture was stunning. And I had no idea I was about to double my step count for the day. Somewhere around this point, I've lost the Babaski. Oh, there she is. Wait.
I'm gonna look at the statue and then...
I don't know what I did, but clearly I deserved this. Every relationship needs a bit. This is ours. This must be how I die. Chasing love through a temple. On the way back, we made a quick stop at the local market. This was my first real introduction to Korean neighborhood markets. The sights, the smells, and the immediate realization that I needed to stay very close to the family. Not just to avoid sensory overload, but to make sure I got a bite of everything.
Mama said no, thank you.
We wrapped it up with a proper photo booth, a makgeolli tasting, and as I've said before on this program, we will cross rivers, we will scale mountains, all in the search of tteokbokki, and my personal favorite, kimbap. And let me tell you, this little spot was bussin' beyond belief. Go ahead, add it to the list. Another easy 10 out of 10. I didn't realize it at the time, but something about this trip changed how the rest of my time in Korea felt. Before the beach, I was still very much a stranger, trying to be overly polite, trying to not be in the way. After the beach, I didn't feel like a guest anymore. I felt like myself, more comfortable. Like I actually belonged in the car. Like I earned Sean's co-pilot seat, which is a great honor and great responsibility. The drive back to Seoul was its own kind of experience. Korea is mountains on mountains on mountains. Hills stacked on hills. And if a mountain gets in the way, they don't go around it. They punch straight through it. I started counting the tunnels we went through on the way back, and I lost count somewhere around 45. Clearly, tunnel engineering is one of Korea's love languages. Actually, I'm curious how many tunnels there are in the country. There's a lot about Korea that made me want to slow down and learn more. Not just where I was going, but why and how it came to be. That's something I want to explore later on in the series. Carefully, respectfully, and hopefully correctly. Anyway, for now, thanks for joining us on this trip. Peace, love, dope. We're back in Seoul. So much city, too many things I wanted to see, so I headed out alone. No translator, no buffer, just me, my camera, and a massive city. Hold on to your butts. It's a solo dive into Hanggae.